What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you, once again, the weekly anime review of Iron Fortress, one of the few series I look forward to the most each individual week. Iron Fortress is finally here with a new episode, and I am absolutely hyped right now, because after last week's episode being fucking wonderful, I was excited to dive into this episode, see what's gonna happen, and I was shocked to see a very slice-of-lifey episode. Now, I know many might write that off as a very boring episode, because I know how many people out there look at Slice of Life and think like, it's kind of boring, I don't want to see that, it's too slow and stuff. And I mean, I'm not going to say everybody's going to view this episode like that, but I can probably already see many already writing this episode off as probably either bland, boring, something not interesting, skip, or it just, go back to the action. I can already see many already saying that, which kind of saddens me, because this is the type of episode I really enjoy. It's these wind down episodes. After all this kick-ass action and badass shit we've seen in recent episodes and all that, we need these type of episodes to give us some chillax moment to get more in depth with these characters, learn these characters and how they interact in a normal society. For instance, how they react when they're not constantly fighting Kabaneri zombies, how they react when they're just having conversations like a daily life, if they were to just be living a normal life. And that's kind of what this episode was about, just showing how they would interact if they were still living in a town without being attacked. And I absolutely enjoyed that. I enjoyed this episode for that. I mean, getting to see how some characters mix in with the crowd, and then how they still continue to all wishing what they need to do for the future, and also how they continue to celebrate holidays. It shows you that tradition has not died in this, world. Because that's one thing. Even though the zombie-like creatures have invaded, they have spread this virus, people have been infected, many towns and train stations, all that, have continuously fallen to where a lot of people have died, you should never give up some of your traditions. You should never give up being human. You should not let fear control you. And that's one of the things that was brought up earlier on in the series. Don't let fear control you to the point to where you want to kill anyone just because you think they are a Kabaneri. In this way, we get to see how society still tries to move along. The gears are still moving, maybe not as fast as they once were, but they're still moving to the point to where people still have somewhat of a decent life or being able to hope for the future. And when you see so many of these people hoping to survive, to continue to live, and also how they can one day take back other train stations, more territory, and then also eventually wipe out all the Kabaneri, it's very honorable stuff. And it lets you know that, humanity hasn't completely given up, and also they're going to continue on fighting until their dying breath. So that's what type of episode this was. It was just kind of reconfirming the feelings of our characters, but also showing how they work in society and how they interact with normal people that have not been faced with all the, trials that these characters have faced in the world. Now, we do get introduced to a character, a new character, but has been spoken about or talked about in the past couple episodes. We get introduced to this character that's apparently the brother of Mume. Now, this brother, as we've already kind of seen for the past couple episodes, has been shaping Mume as a character. It shaped her past to where she kind of viewed as how the weak should die and stuff, and how she was weak. And when you see this, it lets you know that this brother probably doesn't have the best of personalities, or he's not really that good of a person, because if he did say that, it's not something you would think a kind person would say. So, you have it to where our main character's like, looking at the brothers like, so this is the person, the brother of Mume. Is he a good person or is he not a good person? And then the episode pretty much ends right there. And it lets us wonder, so what is this person going to be? Like, how is he going to interact with Mume? I mean, does he have another side that we don't see? Is he actually a kind person? Did we misinterpret his entire stance on the world? I mean, I have many questions. Also, he is a hunter, too. We kind of find out about the society of hunters that go out and hunt Kabaneri and gain more territory back. So this makes a lot of sense. This actually explains a lot now of how humanity most likely has continuously survived for such a long time, because it's thanks to these people, the hunters, going out and seeking new land and taking it back, that allows humanity to keep on prospering, because thanks to them, humanity can expand its territory, get more resources, and allow them to continue on living where they're at. Because, I mean, you gotta go figure, if they're living in a certain area enclosed off with a wall or something, I mean, and it's a very small area, from what we have seen from the outside of the towns when the trains are coming in, the area that the humanity is encompassed in, where they're, like, in this territory, it's not that large. I mean, yes, the train goes from different place to place and all that, but overall, the areas that each town live in are not that big. They really are not. So, eventually, if you have so many people coming in and out of the town, you know for a fact they're going to run out of resources eventually. It's going to happen. It will happen. And it's been something in the back of my head, like, okay, so how are they continuously getting food. Obviously, they're growing their own crops, but I mean, how are they continuously making food? And we now get the example of how this is happening. The hunters, since they're going out gaining territory, most likely they're also gaining supplies and stuff for other stations and gaining supplies to trade with for they can, have more stuff coming in, flowing into their town. So it's thanks to the hunters of how society has continued on working the way it has in these recent years. So really cool stuff we found out about in this week's episode of Iron Fortress. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.